Monster hunters, summer adventures, slasher homages. There was a lot to love about the TV shows of 2022. Kristen here, and we are talking about hands down the best shows of the year. Shows that if they were not on your radar, you need to add them right now. Some of them are a little underrated, some of them maybe you've already heard of. Let's dive on into it. Abbott Elementary put Quinta Brunson on the map as the queen of sitcoms. She can write, she can act, she's just an overall incredible creator. And this mockumentary style show follows the teachers and staff at an underfunded elementary school. Now in its second season, the award-winning series follows clever plots like the students going wild during a sugar rush on Halloween, and continues the will they won't they subplot between teachers Janine and Gregory. This season you also had special appearances from Philadelphia Flyers mascot Gritty himself, Leslie Odom Jr., Vince Staples. The show is just so much fun and is getting the actors a lot of awards recognition. What's not to love about that? While Chucky season 1 set up Charles Lee Ray's origins, season 2 picks up 6 months later as Chucky continues his sinister plot at a Catholic school. Together, Jake, Lexi, and Devin must face even more Chuckies, while Tiffany reunites with her beloved twins Glenn and Glenda. It's just incredible that even after 34 years, creator Don Mancini continues to think of fresh and creative ideas and iconic kills when it comes to this franchise. This season, they didn't even double down, they tripled down on the meta commentary and the meta humor, and it was just so much fun. I was addicted to ABC's claim to fame. This show followed 12 contestants with famous relatives who all move into a house together and have to figure out who is the other person related to? It's hosted by celebrity siblings Kevin and Frankie Jonas, and you had contestants related to Zendaya, to Whoopi Goldberg, and more competing to win $100,000. It was so much fun trying to play along and see who's related to who, and there were some more obvious answers and then some that just kept you stumped the whole season long. Based on the short story from V.E. Schwab comes First Kill. This was such an underrated show that I had a lot of fun with. It follows the tricky act of falling in love for teens Calliope and Juliet. One is a vampire, one's a monster hunter, and both of them are ready to make their first kills. This had vibes of Romeo and Juliet meets Disney's Zombies meets Killing Eve. It was a bit campy, it didn't take itself too seriously, which is something that I really enjoyed. It also had so much lore and depth and background that I really loved. They took these legacy vampires all the way back to the Garden of Eden, and I thought that was really unique, and I hadn't seen a show like this before. I think they introduced a lot of stuff that if they had gotten a second season, they could have taken the world building to another level, and they also set up this really intriguing cat and mouse game between the two young women in the story. But unfortunately, this show was canceled way too soon. Why? Why do all the shows that I like get canceled? I gotta give so much love to F-Boy Island. The second season was so much fun, but this is just a show that I love as a whole because you never know what's coming up next. Hosted by Nikki Glazer, this show follows 3 women who are trying to determine who's an F-boy, who's a nice guy out of this group of guys. Will they fall in love? Depending on who they fall for, will that person split the money with them or take it all and run? I love how self-aware and over the top the humor of this show is. I do a really great job of promoting sisterhood between the women on the show. But what I love about it is that it breaks the typical reality show mold, anything could happen and anything does happen on the show. And the second season in particular, oh my goodness. You got this shocking finale twist that literally, it gave me whiplash. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. Unfortunately, another show that was canceled too soon, but I still recommend watching the 2 seasons that exist because it's so hilarious, it's so chaotic, it's so funny. You don't want to miss this show. Led by Rose McIver and Utkarsh Ambudkar, Ghost is one of my favorite shows out right now. It follows this couple who inherit this beautiful country mansion that they want to turn into a bed and breakfast, but when Sam has a near-death experience, she ends up being able to see ghosts, including ghosts that live on the property, and they form this really great friendship and bond, and it's so much fun. I love this entire cast. Everybody's so funny. In season 2, Sam and Jay continue their journey to try to open up this bed and breakfast, and they get into all these wacky situations, while we also get to learn so much more about the ghosts' backstories, which I loved. It's got addicting humor, it's got a stellar cast. Ghosts is just a must-watch. After leaving the Dominican Republic to start a new life in Miami, Gordita Chronicles tells the refreshing and authentic story of the Castelli family who are looking to fit into and reimagine the American dream. Olivia Gonçalves delivers a standout performance as the heart of the show, Cuckoo Castelli. She's bold, she's aspirational, and even though she is like the main focus, you do get to learn about all of the other family members. I also really enjoyed following her sister, played by Savannah Nicole Ruiz, who goes on this really profound journey of self-discovery and navigating fake friends to find her true passions. The series is just full of heart and humor, and it's one of those shows that's narrated from the future, looking back at the past in 1985, kind of like Everybody Hates Chris. Another show, unfortunately, that was canceled too soon, but so good. You know, I just don't understand how you can have a show centered around an incredible Latino family. You get this great representation, it's getting critical acclaim, it's got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and yet it still gets canceled. I don't know what's going on there, but the show was so good, and Claudia Forestieri, who's the creator, just has such a bright future in writing for television, so I'm excited to see what she has coming up next. Like Degrassi, Heartbreak High is not afraid to go there. This had to be probably my top favorite show of 2022. This is a continuation of a 1994 show that was in turn a spin-off of a 1993 Australian feature film called The Heartbreak Kid. I was not familiar with the original projects that this came from, but oh my gosh, you have this wildly diverse and relatable and authentic and engaging cast who are delivering a fresh look at Hartley High nearly 20 years after the original series. And I'm definitely a sucker for a teen drama that kind of brings you back to the roots of like Community, sort of like Degrassi. You know, like if you keep going back, you're gonna be connected to these characters that started it all. They're navigating love, sex, heartbreak, relationships, but at the same time, there's this very intriguing mystery about what fractured the connection between these two best friends, and they do it in a way that is really out of the box and doesn't go where you expect. From the representation, to the writing, to the fashion, to the music, to the way that they center queer characters and characters of color. The autism representation alone is next level. Like, we've never seen anything like this before. You have an actual autistic actress playing an autistic character in a way that is just so refreshingly brought to life and authentic. And that's one of the things that I just really loved about this show. Just these 8 episodes that you get in the first season. It's high stakes, it's high energy, it's edgy, it's like genuinely diverse. I think Heartbreak High is the show that young people deserve, and I'm so glad that it got picked up for a second season. Another incredible show, Heartstopper on Netflix, based off of the graphic novels by Alice Oseman. It tells the story of gentle Charlie and rugby-loving Nick, who meet at school and form an unexpected friendship that blossoms into something more. I really loved how sweet and heartwarming and positive this story was. You're following all of these people of different sexualities and gender identities, and they really keep the trauma and drama to a minimum. A lot of straight rom-coms get to experience that, so it's really great to see a queer rom-com getting a chance to just have this really heartfelt, fluffy story. They are also very loyal to the source material, which I think was incredible. Like, it literally feels like they ripped the graphic novel from the pages and brought it to life on screen. And not only did the show get picked up for a second season, but a third season as well. That is how successful it was, so kudos to them on telling this really incredible and heartfelt story. In High School Musical, the series, season 3, we got to go to summer camp, and this season was so fun because not only were you out of East High and kind of in a new location, it did tie back to the first season, which they started off on their way back from summer camp. This season, they rocked the status quo. They really gave a lot more attention to Gina, to EJ. There was a lot of revelations for the young leads. They got to participate in this competitive production of Frozen, as well as sing songs from High School Musical, from Camp Rock, and of course the original songs, which are so much fun. This season was also just great because they did so many silly meta moments that take it to just like another level. Like, I love being in on that joke of them making fun of themselves while also, you know, still giving that love to the High School Musical franchise. And there was so many fun guest stars as well. I'm just really excited to go into the 4th season now, which seems like it is just going to blow everyone away. Not only are we going back to East High, but they're going to have our Wildcats unite with members of the original High School Musical movie franchise, which I think is going to be so fun. I cannot wait, and I'm so excited to see what songs they're going to dive into this time around. Netflix delivered not 1, but 2 new seasons of Love is Blind. On the show, singles try to match and fall in love with people sight unseen, and then once they do, they get to meet them in person and see if that emotional connection can conquer the physical attraction. The show was a lot of fun. It's a lot of drama. Second season, there was a bunch of matches that didn't end up working out. Third season, I think they were just so toxic. I think it's probably the most toxic season yet, but there's something so addicting with it. You can't stop watching. It's like a car accident. You can't look away. And I think that's what makes Love is Blind such a fun show to watch. I've also checked out some of the international versions as well, which I think is really interesting if you're a fan of the show, because it just shows you like how different the interactions are in different parts of the world. Never Have I Ever is one of those shows that has been a hit or a miss for me time and time again. The first 2 seasons, I will admit, I wanted to like it, and it wasn't really hidden for me. But this 3rd season, I really, really enjoyed. Davy continues to deal with the everyday pressures of high school and drama at home while also trying to navigate romantic relationships. And it's like, now that she's finally with the guy of her dreams, everything's perfect, right? No. Not at all. Growth and life after high school were really big themes of this season, and I love seeing that like your dreams and goals can change. Davy has spent so much time just trying to get the hottest guy in school, and now she's starting to realize there's a lot more to life than that, and I think every character really grows so much over the course of this season. But I think that everything that Davy has gone through over the course of these last 3 seasons has led to this being the strongest season yet. Another show that was one of my absolute favorites this year was Pretty Little Liars: Original Sin. There have been multiple Pretty Little Liars spin-offs that have not really been successful, but this one kind of changed everything. I think they did a really great job of staying true to what we know and love about the Pretty Little Liars franchise as a whole, but also giving us something new and different by exploring the slasher genre and paying homage to a lot of classic thrillers. I also think they did a really great job with the casting of our 5 core girls and making sure that they're people that we actually want to follow and engage with. They also represent so many different walks of life. They're genuinely diverse, and they just had great chemistry. The show has even been picked up for a 2nd season, which is the first Pretty Little Liars spinoff to get one, and it seems like they might do like a little bit of a summer horror thriller. Marvel brings Hulk's cousin Jennifer Walters into the superhero fold in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. This was a show that I think was getting a lot of mixed reactions. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I am in the camp of I really, really loved it. The comedy balances Jennifer's life as a single 30-something-year-old lawyer who also happens to be a 6'7" superpowered Hulk. It's got a fire soundtrack, hilarious characters, and epic cameos galore. I'm the kind of person who I love my comic book adaptations to be goofy and silly. To me, it feels truer to the comics themselves, and I think this is one of the most comic book accurate adaptations that Marvel has done. It's goofy, it's self-aware. I felt like I was reading the comics while I was watching this. One of my favorite comics of all time is this mini-series called Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine, where Spider-Man and Wolverine literally are a duo trapped in a reality TV show. Like, how silly is that, right? So this is the kind of energy that I love, and so that's why I really loved She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I love when they just like go crazy and it feels like they're bringing the comic book pages to life. We gotta talk about Stranger Things 4. It finds the Hawkins crew divided into 4 separate but connecting stories that unveils the ultimate big bad of the entire series, Vecna. I love that the season dove deeper into the characters, deeper into the horror elements. We also got to follow some really incredible performances and some new characters between Sadie Sink, Caleb McLaughlin, Joseph Quinn, Jamie Kimmel-Bower. This new villain Vecna has such deep roots that go all the way back to that first season. I literally was losing my mind watching the 7th episode. Just the way that they explained everything and revealed everything, I thought it was so impressive. I will say, I think dividing it into the 2 volumes didn't really work for me. They ended in such a great place with that 7th episode, and then to add 2 more episodes on felt like it lost the momentum a little bit. It did start to get a little predictable in those last 2 episodes, but overall, it was a really fun season. They introduced us to some incredible young actors and just really brought the entire story full circle with this new villain. I don't know if anyone else watched The Mole back in the early 2000s, but I am so glad that Netflix brought it back for a new generation, a new audience. The show basically follows a group of contestants who are all working to do these different challenges, both physical and mental, to win money for this big pot, and by the end, someone's gonna win all that money. But there's a little twist where someone's a mole, somebody's a traitor, trying to mess with them, and is tasked with sabotaging the group so they don't win as much money. I just thought this was addicting. It was a really successful reboot of a franchise that many people know, and I had a lot of fun with it. Our favorite roommates returned to Essex College in The Sex Lives of College Girls Season 2. But for how long, right? I mean, there was a lot of drama this season. There was a lot of ups and downs. I love that they still kept their friendship at the core. It's funny, fresh. They They have such great chemistry, and we got to explore our 4 main friends on a deeper level. But at the same time, we end in this place where, like, the 3rd season, anything could happen. Is Bella really gonna transfer? Will Whitney and Kimberly be able to mend their friendship? And is everything really great for Leighton? Is she really gonna just stay true to who she is now? Luckily, we are gonna get more story. The show has been picked up for a 3rd season. It's like, whew, whenever it's getting picked up, you never know anymore, right? It's like, thank God. I cannot tell you how much fun I had this summer watching The Summer I Turned Pretty, based off of the books by Jenny Han. You follow Belly Conklin and her family as they head to the Fisher's Beach house at Cousins Beach. They just did such a great job of making this a location that you wish you could go to. You know, it's sort of like Stars Hollow in Gilmore Girls, right? Like, you want to go there. You want to experience a summer, a magical summer at Cousins Beach. Not only did Jenny Han write these books, she also took on show running this series, which I think she did an incredible job. I ended up reading the books after I watched the show, and it felt like an explainer guide where I got even more information. I think this is one of those rare times where it's not like the book or the show was better. It was like they complemented each other. I love that she wasn't afraid to, like, deviate a little bit, maybe update the story more, take things to another level. Like, there was no debutante story in the book, but I think it definitely added to what was going on in the show. All of the characters are flawed, they're learning, they're kind of coming into their own, and I thought that the young actors that they cast, who a lot of them, this is their first big project, did it really vibrantly, authentically, and I just had such a blast, and I cannot wait for the 2nd season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Nick and Vanessa Lachey returned for another new crazy reality show. They already host Love is Blind, but they brought us a new show, The Ultimatum, this year. It features couples that are on the verge of either, like, they're about to get married or they're gonna split up. They are gonna figure that out after they've been given an ultimatum. They end up spending 3 weeks away from their partners with new partners from other people in the group also giving an ultimatum. So who are they going to end up with in the long run? Only time will tell, but man, this show was messy, it was stress-inducing, just all the perfect elements that make you, like, not able to look away. And there's even a French version currently out that I have to check out next, because it's just a crazy premise. And finally, we got to talk about Wednesday. This is a show that, I'm going to be honest, I did enjoy it, I had a lot of fun with it, but I really think the reason it was so good is because of Jenna Ortega as Wednesday Addams. If she wasn't in this, I don't know if it would have been as strong. She's trying to stop a monstrous killing spree in town. There's also a mystery that connects back to her parents, Morticia and Gomez Addams. There's a lot to dive into. I do think the show can be a little bit cliched and overstuffed at times. I don't think they did a great job with the casting for Morticia and Gomez Addams. They touted this show as, like, Tim Burton and Wednesday, and I really didn't get any Tim Burton vibes other than the little monster that they created. But like I said, Jenna Ortega slays this role. She continues to prove time and time again in every project that she's in that she's one of the best actresses of our generation. It's really Jenna Ortega who makes this a cannot miss. She was born to play Wednesday Addams. She really was. I'm hoping in a 2nd season, the show will take it to another level and really allow everyone to shine more, not just Jenna Ortega. Although, like I said, she really killed this. She is incredible. I will watch anything Jenna Ortega is in. And in fact, I also recommend checking out Scream, The Fallout. She's just had a lot of really great projects this year. So these were the best of the best TV shows of 2022. I'd love to know what are some that you watched that you absolutely loved. What's on your list? Make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comment section, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!